Nowadays, there are hundreds of project portfolio management tools on the market. However, most of them are usually built around deterministic management and resource utilization, which doesn't work in a less predictable environment. They are complex, with a steep learning curve. They cost a lot of money, and lack thorough, lean, and agile support. To overcome these drawbacks, we focus on lightweight, lean portfolio management that allows companies to visualize and easily manage end-to-end flow of work across the organization. Focus on delivering value quickly and predictably as a risk management approach. Promote lightweight planning. Adapt to changes and easily tailor our solution to an existing organization structure, not the other way around. Now, let's see how we do that in practice. Speaking of managing project portfolios, there is one question that often looms over the others. What's going on around here? That's why we aim to provide you with a central place where you can have a bird's eye view over your most important work initiatives. In practice, we achieve this through the Initiatives and Outcomes dashboard. But first, what is an initiative in our platform? You can think of it as a project, product, customer order, strategic goal, or any other big piece of work. The dashboard shows you the initiatives across different places in your account, and you can easily see their hierarchy of lower-level initiatives or projects across teams. On the right-hand side, you will notice indicators that visualize the work progress of every initiative and show its status. These statuses are calculated automatically based on your current and expected progress. You can also easily see if something within the hierarchy is at risk or off track, and pay attention to potential problems as soon as possible. You must have also noticed the pie chart view above the table. There, we provide you with a visual summary of how many initiatives have a specific work progress status. With a single click, you can filter to see only those initiatives whose work progress is at risk or off track. We built this setup to give you an overview across the moving parts in your organization. Now, let's uncover how you can build these initiatives and the hierarchies between them. Before we move on, keep in mind that the Initiatives and Outcomes dashboard visualizes work data which is automatically populated by boards within your account. For example, the Ensure Top-Level Product Performance Initiative is part of the Product Development Board. Opening the board, you can see it in the top-level workflow where the initiative actually lives. Meanwhile, the dashboard shows an aggregated status of multiple initiatives across the work hierarchy, suitable for comprehensive executive summary. Now, let's see how you can manage work across the entire organization. To do this, every board resides within a management or team workspaces, where a connection between project portfolios and execution activities happens in practice. Going back to a board, you will notice that it is built of workflows. Every board can have an initiatives, timeline, and cards workflows. The workflow determines the type of work items that reside in it. For example, both the timeline and initiatives workflows consist of initiatives. The only difference is that the timeline workflow provides you with a calendar view. If you need a more precise visualization of your start and end date. The third type is the cards workflow, which consists of cards that represent daily work and can be either independent or part of an initiative. Both initiatives and cards can form unlimited levels of hierarchies through parent-child link relationships. They are visible under Links Overview inside the details of every card or initiative. As you can see, this particular work item is a child of a bigger initiative and a parent of several lower-level work items. Now, let's move to a management board on a management workspace and demonstrate how you can create such hierarchy from the highest to the lowest level. Think of a management board as a portfolio hub which connects multiple other team or management boards together, so you can visualize work across the organization. In this case, suppose that the management board represents the R&D portfolio management, and you've connected the boards of 3 teams: product development, data analysis, and quality assurance. With a simple drag and drop, you can break down a large R&D project into smaller team initiatives, respectively, for the 3 teams. Think of this action as requesting work from these teams, so the large R&D project can be completed. Once that's done, let's move back to the board of the product development team, where the requested initiative will be present in the backlog of their timeline workflow. The product development team can further break down their team initiative into lower-level work items, or cards, that represent the actual work which needs to be executed. Once the team plans their project and has enough available capacity to pull one of the cards in progress, the team initiative will automatically get started. In turn, the high-level project on the R&D management board will automatically move to In Progress, which signals that the actual work on the project has been started. Keep in mind that the status of the initiatives across the entire hierarchy is determined by the status of the work at the lowest level. This eliminates the need for manual status reporting because the boards are always up to date. As the team completes work on their board, this will be reflected in the work progress indicator of both the team-level initiative and the R&D project on the management board. This structure works across unlimited levels of boards and helps you stay on top of your priorities across all organizational layers. As you define your hierarchical structure, it's time to start applying some lean principles to optimize your project flow. That's why one practice we recommend is to limit work in progress on an initiative level. This is a major differentiator in our platform compared to almost any other tool, because we give you the means to focus on the most important initiatives at a time and deliver up to 3 times faster with the existing workforce. Let's see how that works. First, let's set a limit of 2 for the In Progress section of the management board. In our software, you can do this on every board by editing the specific workflow and setting up the limit under a chosen column or lane. From the settings on the left, you can also choose to allow or deny exceeding the limit. Let's choose the Always Deny option. Going back to the board, you will see a visual indication that the limit has been applied. In case one of the teams decides to pull work on their board, which would trigger new work to be also started on the management board, and thus violate the highest level limit, the action will not be permitted. Moreover, to prioritize your initiatives on a management level, you can apply a permanent card order. Let's do that by editing the workflow. In this case, let's order the initiatives in the Requested section on the management board from the highest to the lowest priority. Saving the changes and going back to the board, let's move the 2 initiatives from the backlog to the Requested section. You will see how they are automatically ordered by priority, and you will not be able to reorder them manually. Combining this concept with policies such as arrival and departure rules unlocks complete flow governance across your hierarchy. Let's see how. First, think of the arrival and departure rules as conditions work needs to meet to enter or exit given process areas. You can set them up from the board policies in your board sidebar. One use case out of many possibilities is to ensure that your teams focus their attention on the next most important initiative in the line. To do that, we set a departure policy on the requested area that has two conditions: position in cell to be less than 2, and priority to be either high or critical. In other words, this will ensure that only the initiative with the highest priority in the requested queue can exit it. In this case, that's Product Initiative 1. For example, if the data analysis team decides to pull child work that is linked to Product Initiative 2, the action will not be executed. That happens because Product Initiative 2 has a lower priority than Product Initiative 1, which means it cannot be started first. Moving on, our platform has been built on the premise to cover unpredictable environments, unlike many other traditional tools. We do that by focusing on real data, such as the current status of work known as probabilistic management versus estimation-based or deterministic management. To put the probabilistic planning in action, you can use our various set of analytics, where, under forecasting, you will find the Monte Carlo simulations. With Monte Carlo, how many, for example, you can derive probabilities of how many work items you can deliver by a specific point in time. For example, let's see how many work items this team can deliver in the next 30 days. Based on this particular data set, the simulation shows that there's slightly above an 85% chance for 58 or more work items to be finished in the next 30 days. With Monte Carlo when, on the other hand, the logic is reversed. You can derive probabilities until what data a given number of work items can be completed. So let's see how long it will take for 50 work items to be done. Based on the historical data set of this team, there is almost an 85% chance for 50 work items to be completed until the 31st of July. To ease this process for project planning, we've integrated the simulations inside every initiative on your boards. The only prerequisite is to ensure that your initiative is broken down into child work items. Then, inside the Forecast tab, the system will provide you with a forecast based on the historical completion rate of previously finished lowest level work items, similar to the ones constituting the current initiative. With the primary and secondary dimensions, you can specify what criteria those previously finished work items should meet. You can also instruct the system what level of certainty to use when building the forecast, and use the scale parameter to define either greater or lesser complexity of the work constituting the initiative. Moving to the advanced setting, the system allows you to plan for additional scope with the additional cards field, as well as take into account your process outliers. When you run the simulation again, you will see 4 different scenarios for the duration of the work at hand, which you can use to adjust your plans as necessary. Occasionally, when managing and planning complex work, there might be inconsistencies across the hierarchy. To help you identify those, our system uses smart notifications. For example, if the deadline of an initiative is set before the deadlines of its children's work items, the issue will be reflected with an exclamation mark next to the initiative's deadline. Furthermore, if the size of the initiative is lower than the cumulative sizes of its children, this will activate another smart notification to pay attention to and resolve the issue as soon as possible. As the product intersects solutions for managing project portfolios, strategic execution, and team operations, we invite you to start your free trial and see what's possible for yourself.